Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Season 39, War number 3. Today we're taking on LVT. Some very talented folks in this alliance. I think Happy McMuffins is currently over there. Also shout out to Lizer, a former SSX member. She had moved on, of course, to For Loki and then LVT prior to me joining SSX. Today we're taking in Apocalypse, Archangel, and Hulkling. Archangel making his Alliance War debut. Actually going to use him for one fight as a Horseman, so pretty pumped about that. We're going to be on Path 7 in both sections here today. First up we have a Black Cat. Now APOC is a hard counter to all of these second wind nodes because they all work off of Purify or Cleanse, and there's no Cleanse champs on this path. It's just Purify champs here, so... One thing that's interesting about this fight in particular, Black Cat has an ability on her special 1 where if she attempts to purify up to 3 debuffs when she activates the special, and if she doesn't purify any debuffs, then it's supposed to give her a cleanse passive. However, you're going to notice here she's going to toss the special 1 and she doesn't get the cleanse passive. So what's actually going on is that she is attempting to purify, but APOC is reducing the ability accuracy of that purify to 0. And since the Purify was attempted but actually failed, the Cleanse Passive rather doesn't end up triggering. So a neat little interaction there. APOC just, you know, the smart choice for pretty much anybody on this lane. If you're running Path 7 and APOC is not banned, it's pretty much guaranteed that you need to be bringing APOCs here. You saw a minute ago I actually got parried. I got parried there again, so that sucks. I'm really slow on the heavy. And I think, you know, APOC has a slow wind-up on his heavy too, which contributes to that. So I just need to be a little bit more on the ball. The Sabotage debuff, a little bit of extra healing. Going to have to heal up anyways, but otherwise that Black Cat, not a problem. Up next we have a big boy King GROOT, who is a tactic defender this season. Going to speed up this fight just a bit. Nothing really going on here. I'm going to start off with the poison just to reduce the amount of healing that he gets. And then you're going to notice that when I get the unsteady debuff on me, whenever he throws a special attack, I'm not going to throw my special until that debuff is off, because it will glance my special attacks and then it will prevent my debuffs from sticking. And I'm also not going to try and refresh the debuffs while unsteady is on me again, because it's going to glance and prevent that refresh from working here. So got the poison up, got the weakness up. I think now I go for the concussion. So that I can reduce the chances of that unsteady debuff triggering in the first place. And I think it does work at least once. Yeah, so, you know, again, hard counter here to King GROOT, because on this lane, you're banking that he's going to be purifying debuffs with those Fury buffs that he has, and APOC will prevent that completely. Keeping the debuffs paused, just waiting out patiently the unsteady debuff, and then hopping in with our final debuff, which is the degen, doesn't matter though. And he is down. Pretty easy fight. Alright, we're up in Section 2 now. This is a KORG, a rank 3 KORG only, and I think it's low SIG, only like SIG 60 maybe. Shout out to Panaman Pete, by the way, another very talented player over in LBT. Alright, so since this is a low SIG KORG, the Thorns damage is really next to nothing, and I think I do accidentally trigger Thorns like maybe once or twice throughout the fight. But other than that, the strategy here, just parry and use only light attacks until the shield is down, and then you can safely use your normal attacks when the shield is down, of course. The other thing that I had to kind of tell myself to remember is not to attempt to refresh the debuffs with my heavy attack unless I knew the shield was down, which I've had that problem in the past. I think last time I did the Grandmaster's Gauntlet, I continually tried to refresh the debuffs while his shield was up, so that was a problem for me. But again, on a low SIG KORG, you can afford to make this mistake a couple times and you're going to be fine. I think this fight is almost over. I think I do take a couple of unnecessary hits here, trying to bait out one more special attack. Oh, right there. I don't know, my parry failed, my dex failed, I don't know what happened there. And then I take a combo there when he went unblockable. So I think just getting the shield down and then one special 2 should finish him off there. So again, you know, making a couple, you know, very minor mistakes here in these first few fights that's costing me a potion here, potion there. Not too big of a deal. Alright, next up we have a Hercules. This is not a low SIG rank 3, of course, max SIG rank 4. So the strategy here, I mean, Herc is going to frequently go stun immune with his feats of strength, and you do have to knock him down frequently to remove protection. But other than that, the only thing that I wanted to keep in mind here was to make sure that I had a special 3 available for the end of the fight, because I really didn't want to chance him going unblockable and immortal, and then, you know, just play around waiting for that buff to end. So I kind of, you know, I feel like I'm a bit indecisive in this fight here as to, you know, should I hold the special 3 for the entire fight? Should I try and keep the debuffs refreshed? It's just... And I end up just... the fight takes a lot longer than I think it should have. Just because I can't really decide on a strategy midway through the fight here. So right there I get super lucky. I whiff on the heavy and he resists the second part and doesn't counter me. So that's nice here. So right, a minute and a half in, he's a third of his health left. And I've decided at this point that I might as well just start saving, because I don't want to be caught in a situation where I'm only at a special 1 or a special 2 when I have him down. So I feel like the speed of the fight warranted me getting to that special 3 and holding it at that point. So at this point, I'm making sure that I'm keeping an eye on those feats of strength so that I know when my parries are going to not work and when I need to reparry. And then once I get him down to 2% here, toss that special 3, and that's going to completely kill him without worrying about immortality. Again, I could have made that fight a little bit faster, but it is what it is. Okay, up here on Boss Island, we've got a Wiccan on node 50, gonna pop the Horseman pre-fight, back out, come back in, make sure it's applied, and then head on in with Archangel. So Archangel is immune to passive forms of ability accuracy reduction, so we can safely parry Wiccan without worry about getting that Neutralize debuff on us. Neutralize, of course, reduces the ability accuracy of buffs, and Archangel, that's why Archangel is immune to it, so we can safely dex when we need to as well. Other than that, it's a pretty standard fight here. Parry heavy, watch him melt. So he's going to go unblockable, as you see here, right after the special 1, because he's going to be triggering that regen. We couldn't get a neurotoxin up until right after the special 1, but the amount of regen that he got was pretty low here. So we can safely just outdistance the special 1. I think I do push him to special 2 at one point here, and then I just block the whole thing because it's a super safe. Special 2 is a little bit tricky. I don't think you can outdistance this because it's got like three giant laser blasts or something here. I think I do get lucky on the first dex here. Right there, yeah, I do get lucky there, and then I'm like holding block as hard as I can because I don't want to take any hits there. But otherwise, he goes down without a problem. And then last but not least, we have a Penny Parker up on node 53 with Stunning Reflection. This is a pretty, I don't want to say sloppy, but inefficient is maybe the word I would use. Inefficient fight with Hulkling. So I've had this problem before, not just with Hulkling, but where I launch a special attack thinking that I have that second bar of power, and I don't. That's what happens here. I'm expecting to have the special 2 available after I hit into a block, and I'm just shy, and I end up launching the special 1 instead. So it really just, you know, artificially lengthens the fight there. Right there, I thought I had the special 2, or I was going to have the special 2, and I don't. So that kind of sucks. Baiting out her special 2, but other than that, you know, it's not making the fight any more difficult or dangerous for me. It's just making the fight a little bit lengthier. I'm also constantly accidentally triggering my unblockable, so I feel like I spend a lot of the fight trying to like actually get into my proper Hulkling rotation, but I'm boosted up so high. Really, you know, I did my entire path and these minis in one set of boosts, so you know, I didn't really mind too much just not triggering the SP2 while unblockable. The one Fury, as you saw, was pretty strong enough with the boosts and the cosmic boost as well. So I think I finally do get the the Hulkling unblockable SP2 into the block to work, like at the very end of the fight, like with 1 or 2% health remaining here. So there we go. I've got 4 Pierce buffs. One next hit's going to be unblockable. Finally get the SP2 to work right at the end where it doesn't really matter. So there we go. We did end up taking the W in this one. 6 kills for me, 0 deaths. So I guess we started another streak over. Shout out to LVT and all the great folks over there. Our record for this season is up to 3-0. I was telling somebody, I think it was B McG yesterday, the day before, how important these early victories are, because the season at this level, one thing I've learned is that the season gets much more difficult the later in the season you go, when you start getting matchups that are much tighter scoring. So these early wins are very key in terms of making sure that we can place where we want to place at the end of the season. So Folks, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed this, please remember to hit that like button for me, and be on the lookout for more content later. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.